Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be showing you how to master Genos, or we can say destructive cyborg. So without further ado, let's get into it. As you can see here, he wasted a move to try to aim on me, thinking I would stand still. So instead, when he wastes a move or anything, or for example any character consecutive punches, a first move, anything, you side dash into him correctly without missing, and you can use a move on him. So basically what I did here is wrong, is because I thought I would time it like when he unblocks or something. It's kind of predictions. It's like when he side dashes, of course you unblock, so you time it at that time with shooting perfectly, and then you can use the fourth move, but he blocked it or dodged it. But there's also another disadvantage or an advantage. So some pros, as soon as you land, they can catch you easily with an M1 tech and a movement. And then there's some players that just does it lately, so you can block at that time before they do any move if it's blockable. If it's not, you side dash correctly into them. And also you need to work on the side dashes or the aiming especially. So for example, when I use the second move, I need to make sure he'll get hit, or you can do a bait, for example, and here's a strategy I use. Should also work on the blocking and attacking. For example, when the player, for example, attacks or uses a move on you and it's blockable, you can just block it and hit at the right time. Like for example, sometimes I mess up and just, for example, hit in the wrong timing, so he can just hit me back easily. But here's a correct strategy I used. Some players, as soon as you dash, just never front dash sometimes. Like when you're certainly that he's not gonna block it, just you can front dash. But front dashes aren't for pros, because they can just block it as you can see here. But I can try like as much as possible he's gonna hit me back or something. You have to time the block or the movement you're gonna use. You have to make sure that you're gonna use it correctly or it's gonna hit him. You get my point now. So a lot of users make these mistakes, for example, as I did. I blocked in the right time, but they just got me back with a combo because I didn't attack at the right time. So I could have blocked longer, or it's kind of like an estimation. So for example, I should have aimed well next time, so I could have practiced more about the aiming. And don't just do random like jet dives. Don't just randomly use the fourth move, because it can be counterable or they can dodge it and hit you easily. But for example, this person did it a bit late, didn't hit in the right time. As soon as I land, you're supposed to hit at the same time, but they didn't seem to do that. And you need to focus on the predictions or the estimation when your opponent dashes. For example, you know he's gonna side dash to hit you and you're not ready. You side dash to the opposite side as quick as possible, or you side dash away, or kind of a back dash, or front dash away, something like that. You have to predict the movements. And you also need to focus on the blocking, but don't block too long, because they can side dash back or they can do a front dash hitting you on the back. For example here, they dodged it twice, or I kinda blocked or attacked at the wrong timing, even though that could have been counted. Like even though you could have hit them with that move, you kinda technically did it wrong. You kinda gave them a little bit of a space or a little bit of a cooldown. There's sometimes accuracy, so you have to focus on that as well. For example, the first mistake I did, he side dashes into me and goes a down slam. So he was just giving a distance, so I could have timed it correctly, so just as staying down. So I could have used the evade just to time it as soon as he get close, to use the machine gun. And also you can bait players. So for example, he's Zero Hunter. For example, you know he's gonna aim, like you're good at aiming or you're gonna aim at him. For example, you bait it. Since he knows I can just rotate and hit him, you basically saw that I baited him and then went back going to the machine gun. For example, I know he's gonna hit me behind, so I try my best to go behind and block and attack in the right timing. It's kind of like a prediction, but also need to time your attacks and blocks. So for example, he's gonna hit me, I know where he's gonna hit me, or I do a mistake and then for example I predict, or I know he's gonna hit me on the side or anywhere. I have to side dash away from my mistake, like as you can see as I did here. I dodge his attacks when I do a mistake. But some mistakes, for example, is quite obvious, like doing a machine gun. He can just side dash and hit you, so that is a huge mistake. For example, that part was obvious. That was a huge mistake I did because you can counter it easily. So let's learn from our mistakes and let's not do it next time. For example, I didn't time my block or attack here, so that was a mistake. For example, after the huge mistake and I evaded it, I need to play carefully. When is he gonna side dash or front dash? I need to kind of predict of what he does. The only part, the reason why I lost in this part is because this move isn't blockable and I could have hit it. But I should have focused next time. For example, he does 2 to 3 hits and I should have hit it back instead of just blocking. Another mistake I'm also showing you guys for people that front dash. This is what happens when you front dash. It's very predictable and it can do an insane amount of damage on you. And even if you evade, you need to be careful on what you're gonna do. Make sure he doesn't hit you. For example, he fronted dash in this part, so I blocked it and I could have hit it, but I didn't attack in the right time. But also if I could have attacked in the right time, I could have got him. So this is the reason why you don't really front dash. I side dashed in the right time and I also used the moves at the right time. So this is what happens when you focus and do it in the right time. Even if I'm going to waste a move, I need to make sure I'm going to hit him back, like if it's worth using that move. You get what I mean? This part was very predictable. I should have baited him with the move instead of going in, because when I went in, he knew I was gonna use it, so he used the praise pull. Also, I knew he was going to use the third move, which is the hunter's grab, so I side dashed as fast as possible if I can, and I got him with the first move. So that's not bad for a play for me and him.
And here comes number 13, Mr. All coming from the 3-point line right now. Oh shit, that nigga's in there. He's sucking out his neck. He gon' beat that fucking we gon' kick your dough. 1, 2, 3, and 4, you hit out. Murder, what's he from? Saw him in my scope, I'm about to from place to the post. He ain't getting no, that nigga die. Knock up at your door, let me in, bitch, I'm gon' need that neck. Fuck you talking for.